Hey, what's up, everybody? I am back again, and much earlier in my day, at least. It's like 11 a.m. here, which works better than 11 p.m. when I was crashing last time. I'm going to work on the same app that I did the last couple of live streams today. And then tomorrow, for the rest of the week, I'll probably be focusing on the GraphQL series that I'm doing. And that one's a premium one, so I'm just going to do the prep for it on here, and then I'll record the screencasts with OBS as I usually do and put them at 1020p. I can only do 720p on Twitch because I bought a Mac Mini newest version, and that's my main computer that doesn't have a great graphics card. So let's have a look at where we were with the app. So let's go to the main view here and open up the web page. So the last couple of streams were this productivity app I've got running in local dev here, I think. Okay. So the first episode or the first live stream, I worked on just the UI for this part of it. And then last time I made all the schemas, and I also did a little bit of math in a view helper so that these status bars would be longer for streaks that are longer. So the whole idea of this app is, you want maybe you have some goal of sleeping at 8 hours every night. This will keep track of how many days in a row you've done it right, and so you can see if you're building a streak of whatever it is you want to do, or if you're not. And because some streaks get really long, like I know some writers like Nathan Barry, he had like a streak of many hundreds of days, more than a year, of writing 1,000 words a day. But you don't really care as much if it's, say, going from 340 days in a row to 350 as you would from going from 1 day to 11 days. So I have these trail off exponentially. It's just like a log base 2, which is why all these numbers here are powers of 2. Actually, those are hard coded in. I have this is just on the home page. The last time I hooked it up so that if you're on the goals page, you'll see all of your goals, and these are powered by the database. So first thing I want to do is simplify this a bit from last time. Let's take a look at the schema, and I don't know if you can see the screen. If the text is too small, just send me a chat message. I'm gonna up it just for going over my notes. However, oh, maybe I closed the notes. That's not good. Well, the app is really simple, so I'll just go over it here in the oh, open editors. Do I have the notes? Maybe. I don't think I have the notes in this directory. I have them somewhere else and I've closed them. So I'll just go over um, the schemas directly. So we have a goal schema, and goals are these things. So they have a title field, and then whether if they're active or not. That way, a goal can be disabled without removing all the data from it from your database. So maybe you have a goal of working out every day for maybe 1 month, and then after the month, you don't want to delete all that data, but you just don't want to have that goal for the next month. So you can set it to not active. The goals have statuses and they have streaks. The status of a goal is incomplete, true or false, and the date. So this would be like a check-in report on your goal. So like maybe I have a goal of live streaming. I would check this true every day that I do it, which would create a new status that's related to the goal. And then the goal has many statuses, so we can get all of that. What I want to change today is this has one streak. So the goals right now have streaks. The streak just has a length. and it works fine. But I was thinking about this, and there's really no reason this should be separated out from the goals. You could just simplify this whole schema by having the goals belong to the streaks. That way, or sorry, by having the length of the streak be in the goal schema, and then it'll simplify this view. For example, if we go to goal index here, I'm looking at the goal title, and then on that streak part, I'm getting goal.streak.length here. I'd rather just have that all in the goal schema. So let's do that right now. We'll go to goal.ex, and actually let's start from the streak. I think I'll just delete this entire thing. We don't need it. So streaks are gone, and then the goal will just have a field called a streak, and that will be an integer, and that means we don't need this anymore. And then we need to have a streak in here. Is that required? No, it's not going to be required. I'll just make it default to 0, and I will cast it. So streak is going to be casted, which means if someone passes in a streak, we'll update it. And then, whoa, and then the required will not include streak. Then we obviously need to update the database migration as well. So migration streak, and we're just going to delete this entire file like so. And migration goal, nope, goal migration create goal. There we go. This one, we just need to add that same streak. Wait, A, B, C, D, F, G. Let's alphabetize these. Or ST, yeah. So add streak. Close that so we have more space. And this is an integer, and the default is 0, and null is false. We should never. I generally don't like to have nulls in anything if I can avoid it, just because it makes for a certain class of bugs I'd rather just avoid. We want to index the streak. Yeah, I think we do, and I think we want to index the streak with the title in combination as well. So that way, if lots of people are using this app, hypothetically, then maybe you've got a streak, or maybe you've got a goal of, I don't know, don't eat sugar, and then you want to see all the other people who are not eating sugar. I mean, maybe that's a bad example, but it could be exercising daily or whatever. So we'll add streak to that. Save this. Now, of course, the data that's currently in the database does not match what's in the schemas at all. So we're going to have to dump all of that. We're also going to have to go to the context function itself. Close all of that. We'll have to go to the context module and remove everything related to streaks. Yeah, so the goals will just preload the statuses. And same deal here. And what do we have here? Turns list. Okay, so that's fine. Streak. Okay, so this whole section should be gone. And streak list statuses. Okay. So delete that. save it. And do we have any instance of the word streak anymore? We don't. Okay. So now we'll stop the app and mix ecto.drop. That'll drop all the data currently in the database. And mix ecto.setup will create the database again, and then it'll run those migrations. We have different migrations than we did. Let's run mix and see if everything is still good. Okay, so this page still refers to the module streak. It has goal.streak.length. So that's going to be a problem as soon as we load the page. We should be able to start the app though. So let's do that, reload the page, and we get an error as expected. Actually, we have no goals at all. So I'd have to add a goal to the database before we'd even see that. So let's create one. We'll use our core function. So core dot, and the reason I can use core is because last time I created an iex.exs file so that we just get these aliased as soon as iex starts up. So core dot create goal, and we'll make the first goal. What's going on there? We'll make the first goal workout, and I think that's all we need to supply because a streak has a default value of 0. Okay, loading this. Yeah, now we get the argument error that I was expecting. So we'll go to our index page. Actually, we'll go to the goal view first because I've got this helper function. This function figures out. Actually, this function's fine. This function doesn't refer to what is being passed in at all. It's just X. So this isn't looking at goal.streak. We'll go to goal index, and in here, we set it so that it wraps. In here, we have goal.streak.length, but streak is now part of goal. So it's part of the goal module. So we can just say goal.streak. Bar length is goal.streak. Goal.streak is now an integer. So we should be good there. Okay, that's better. Called with one argument, 0. Bad argument in expression. Let's go to this view. So we say 100 times math log 2 of 0. Okay. So def, actually, we'll just do a one-liner here. Bar length. And if x is 0, then we'll just return 0. Okay. Why is that showing up at all? It should be 0. Let's see. Well, it does say with 0. So I'm probably just seeing the padding. Do we want anything to show up at all? Maybe that's okay. Let me add another goal, and we'll see if it makes sense in comparison. So we'll create a goal called, right, actually get out of bed was the really easy goal. We'll create a goal called "2 liters of water." How about that? So this goal is like to drink 2 liters of water every day. And we'll give it a streak of 1. So we've successfully done it 1 day. That looks okay. Why are we not seeing the 0 here? because of the background color. You know what? If it's a 0, instead of that, let's just do width equals 0. Hmm. We're going to get a width no matter what. Let's have this actually return the entire thing. So we'll have it return the width also to our CSS. So this bar length here is what's generating this number here. So this one is 8.3333%. Basically, if you've only done it one day, you get 1/12 of the entire width of the bar. So let's, instead of just having this part generated by our helper function, let's have the helper function generate the entire thing. Then I can also pass in something else besides width. So we'll say width so we should have a doubling of width there. What went wrong? Compile error. Oh, because I didn't finish writing that, so we'll just put that back. Okay. So in this one, we should see width twice. Yeah, width. Okay, so then we'll take width out of our index. So width, and just delete that. Okay, so now that's creating the width for us. And going back to our helper, we'll just have it say width 0, display none, or display hidden. Okay, that looks reasonable. Now let's add a couple more goals, like get out of bed, give this one a length of 365. So we've done this successfully 365 days in a row. Get out of bed, 365. Oh, it's not called length anymore. It's just called streak, because streak is no longer another module. So streak 365 days. Add goal, streak 365. Undefined. Unbreakable core dot create goal. Okay, I probably overused IEX history there. Okay. Good. So that's, yeah, that's definitely a win, because now our goal just has this. We're only including a single has many. We're not having to deal with the has one to get the length of the streak. So the next thing is we need a page to basically report the status. I think there is a page, just because. Oh shoot! I gotta just remembered. I should also remove all the templates that were created for streaks, and also the controller for it. So get rid of the controller, and there's going to be one view for it also. Streak view is gone. And now the templates, all of those. Okay. So we have just the pre-generated template function. Streak controller is not. Yeah, that's right. Streak shouldn't be there. Status should be, though. Statuses. Okay, so this is just, vanilla, straight from the Phoenix generators. So all it's got is a listing of all the statuses and the date complete. So let's add a new status. And instead of having this default to the 15th of January, let's have it default to whatever today is. Let's have a look at status. So it's just a plain date. So can we get a date.now or date.new? UTC. Nah, it's not UTC now. Let's check the docs. Elixir date. Date fields can be there. I'm just looking for whatever gives a new date. If anyone knows that, please just type that into the chat. So that's a new date, but how about UTC today? Okay. So date.utc today. And yeah, that's fine if everybody is on UTC for the app. At least for this version. So we'll pre-populate this date with UTC today. So we'll go to the goal controller. We'll go to the status controller. And we'll look at new. So in new, we create a change set, and that's really all we're passing it. Let's also, actually, do we need to pass it in? No, we don't have to pass it in there. We could do it in the template, although I think it's a little better to do it here. So we'll say today equals date.utc today, and pass that into the controller along with everything else, or into the template along with everything else. So today is today. Okay, then let's see, this is going to hit the new HTML, and then new is going to hit the form. So date status new. No. Status new.html.ex. So we're passing the assigns action routes.status.path. Okay. So instead of just the assigns here, we'll also add today. And I'm thinking how I want to do this. Wait, no, today is going to be in the assigns, right? So let's look at the edit, or not the edit, at the form, status form. So here's all of our stuff. Just as kind of a sanity check, let's just see if we can print out today's date. I'll just put it at the end of this before the save button. So we'll say io.inspect status. Why do we not have the whole status there? Oh, it's in the change set, right? Inspect today. So we don't see it today. Let's put an equal sign here so that it renders it. Still don't see it. So, oh wait, yeah, we do. So the 3rd of November. Yes, we've got the data that we need. So now how to pre-populate this in the form. So date is coming in from the change set. And for just for a new, so if it's updating it, we want it to have the existing date, but if it's new, we want date to be clobbered. So maybe what would be better than this approach is in the controller, I can just clobber the change set, uh, with today. So date UTC today. Probably make that into a one-liner. Once to check that it's working. Okay, so now we're populating the date that we wanted. So I will make this a one-liner. Change this to date.utc today. Okay. So now we've got today's date coming into the change set for new. We don't need today here. And we don't need to change anything in the form, which is good because changing things in the form can be a bit of a pain since both new and edit use the same form. Okay, so we have today's date autocomplete or auto filling in there. And when we save something, so I'm not going to do the front end of this part at all today. I'm going to do that on some other stream, but I want to add some logic for the back end. So when we save a status, that should update the related goal. So every status is going to be connected to one goal or another. And for example, if we go back to the goals page here, if I report the status for get out of bed to no, then that goal is failed and the streak should be set to 0. So let's go to our core function and go to status. Okay, and every status has a goal ID. Every status has a goal ID on it. It's related to the goal. So we need to associate the status with the goal, or we need to get the goal related to the status, I should say. And if this status is for today and the status is set to no, then the streak needs to be blocked or it needs to be zeroed out. If it's set to yes, it needs to be incremented by 1 unless yesterday was not filled out, and then I'll have to think about how that should work. Let's see here. Think if yesterday is not, I think the best way for this app to work is it should force you to update it every day. So like if you don't update it by default, your streak should be zeroed out. Like you should just lose all your progress and be very motivated to fill out the streak every single day. But if you do go on vacation or you go camping or something and there's no Wi-Fi and you can't update it for a few days, but you actually do meet your goal, you should be able to edit it after the fact and update the streak. So maybe the best way to do this is have a simple approach. We just say, is yesterday filled out? If true, and today is, then we increment the streak. If yesterday wasn't filled out, then we'll have to do some kind of recalculation. Or I guess if it's not filled out, it counts as no. So the real question is the day that they're updating today? If they're updating today, it's got to be, it's either going to increment the goal by 1, or it's going to set, or it's either going to implement the streak of successful days by 1, or it's going to set it to 0. If they're updating a day that isn't today, then we'll need to do a recalculation. For example, let's say I actually did work out 2 days ago and 3 days ago and 4 days ago and 5 days ago, and I had a streak of 7 days in a row. And I also worked out yesterday, but I didn't fill it out. Then today, when I fill out today, I say, yes, I did a workout. And then I see, streak of only 1, it should be 9. Then I would go back and look at yesterday and see that's not filled out. So it defaulted to false. So then I would want to edit that to true. And at that point, the streak is not just 2, it's going to be 9. So basically, when we edit a day that's not to today, or when we edit a day that's not today, we'll have to check previous days and calculate the streak from that. So that's going to be a more expensive and more complicated operation. For now, let's just do the simple case of handling if it's today. So when we create a status or when we update a status, we'll definitely insert that to the database. If that was today, I think maybe we'll handle this in the module instead of in the core. We can just increment streak. So we'll make a function to increment the streak, and we'll make a function to reset streak. I think that's the best way. So reset streak, and this is going to take a status because that's what's going to be available in the status controller and easier to use. Or is it? There are a few ways to go on this one. So when we create a new status, we have nothing. But when we update one, we've just gotten it. We're probably going to preload the goal with the status. So maybe I'll let that take a goal or a status, actually. Yeah. If it's a goal, then we'll set that one to 0. If it's a status, we'll set its related goal to 0. I'll do the goal one first. So reset streak with some goal. And we'll just use the existing function in our context and set it to 0. So we'll update goal and set the streak to 0. And what's wrong here? Finds a function with variable goal is unused. Oh, right. There we go. And then if it's, actually, we'll just make this a one-liner. And then if it's successful, we want a function to increment it. And I've already done that in a previous video, I believe, for Alchemist Camp, but Okay, and we should be able to reset the streak based on the goal. Yep. And reset it based on the status. May need to reload the status though. Or to get status 1. So I commented that out, of course. Yes, okay, so resets are fine everywhere. Let's also add an increment version for the status. So this one we're going to that. I do not want a breakpoint there very much. Increment streak based on status. So in this one, if we get where ID equals status dot goal ID, update all, full query, inc streak 1. I think that'll do it. So status 1 is connected to the workout goal. It's already been reset. It's fine. We'll just do core dot increment streak asset status 1. And now it's got a streak of 4. All right. So that's easy enough to work with. The whole reason I've been going down this rabbit hole is just because I wanted to make it so that when we update a status, it will automatically change the goal if it was a status from today. So it'll update the streak. So if someone creates a status and it was today, then we'll use one of these two functions, either reset streak or increment streak on the goal. We'll go to status controller, and on both edit and update, we need to check that. So I'm sorry, on both update and create. So we'll start at create. If someone creates a status and it was for today, we will do that increment. So if status, say we'll get today first, today equals date dot UTC today. If the status date is today, then we call core dot increment streak. Yeah, we're just handling the today case right now, so I'm not going to worry about yesterday being null. So if yesterday was false, then the streak will be 0. So you didn't complete the task yesterday. And if it's true, then the streak will go up by 1. So core dot increment streak. Just pass in that status. No. Actually, no. if case status today equals, so we need to care that status is today and that the completion, the is complete, is true. So let's just use a case instead. So case of status do, and we have date today. If we have date today and is complete is true, then core dot increment streak status. If date today and is complete is false, then we need to reset the streak to 0. And then if it's not today, we're just not going to deal with it for now. We'll probably write a function to do that sometime, but not today. Now what's wrong? Today equals UTC date today. Calling the function. Today is used though. Let's just may have to no, actually that should match either way. That doesn't matter. I think this is okay. Could be wrong, but it looks right. Let's recompile. Today is unused. Okay. What if we do that? Not invoke remote function. Okay. Guess gotta pin it since case is a macro. Recompile. Now we'll make a new status, and I better add a goal ID to the status form because it doesn't have that right now. Status form. And of course, like we'll make this auto populate. Like I think the way the interface will work later is I just click on a specific goal to update a status, or maybe even a status update, like just a display on the entire goals index, just like with a check mark and an X, if you haven't updated them that day. So we will add goal ID. And instead of a date select, this is just going to be integer. It's going to be number. believe this is just a number select, or just an input, a number input, and not date. It's going to be goal B. Not a number input. Okay. Let me have a look at what we had in streak back when it was part of or back when it was its own module. Oh, there is no get. Huh. Okay. Do a text input. I actually don't even want the slider. Status, goal ID, label F, goal ID. Why is that not a thing? So here's a goal. Oh, because a goal has its own ID. Is this is on status? Status does have a goal ID. Text input F didn't pass in the form. Date, goal is not loaded. That's easily fixed. It's a new one. There is no goal. That's the index field. Okay, so on the index for statuses, I need to preload the goals. Goals. And we should probably also preload it. Okay, we are for the individual case. Recompile, and now it's better. Status does not have an association goals, because each status only has one goal instead of plural goals. Okay, complete is not found. It's because it should be is complete, I believe. Yeah, is complete. This is way back from when I was using the generators. So is complete. Status date, status complete. Very good. Go to new status, goal, date, but there's no, there is no goal. No, oh, there is. Okay, it's just Just zero CSS on it. That's okay, I guess. Number input. No clause matching reset streak. So what did we do here? We just added a status for goal number 1. We called reset streak with a 0 because the goal was a 0. How did that happen? Reset streak goal. Is complete was false. How is that a 0? That should just be with the status. Okay, well, I believe the statuses themselves should be, or the status was completed. Yeah. So we've got a couple. I should be able to edit it now. And basically, this same chunk will go into the update page or the update path. Actually, this entire chunk. Don't think I'm going to pull it out into a function yet because it's just in 2 places. So this is after the status has been successfully updated. We check the day and we check if it was successful or not. Do that. And let's edit this. So goal 1 was actually completed. And it looks like this is just a problem in the template again because it was generated with complete as the name of the field saying whether the goal was complete or not. Now it's called is complete. So we'll go back to form just so we can see the other templates and just change them all. That's fine. That is updated also. I guess shows. Whoa. Did I just move something? I hope not. That's one of the most dangerous things with VS Code. Is complete. Okay. We're going to edit that. Say that it is complete. And it still says it's not complete, probably because of the cast and the change set. No, cast is fine. Probably because of the form. The form, if the form still says complete, it'll be passing a struct with the wrong field. Yep, that was it. So now when we edit it, we should have a working form. Yep, that was set complete true. Now, if this is really working, goal number 2 should also have incremented the success streak. Let's go to goals. Let's just put a link to goals on the index page for status, just for a dev convenience. Goal index, and that's going to go to routes dot goal path. Con index, and it's our goal index. Excellent. So looks like status number 2 did get set to just 1. And now if I edit that, or sorry, goal number 2's streak got set to 1. That's goal number 1. What was goal number 1? Goal number 1 is workout, I believe. That's status number 2. Where's status number 1? Go. So we set that to complete. It should go up 1. It did. Workout 1 up to 2. Now I'm going to say that I missed the workout today. Save that, and it should automatically go to 0. It did. Okay. So there was a bit of a rabbit hole there, but we got definitely got the schema simplified and got some basic way to update statuses through the generated templates. And at least if the status you're updating is today and the thing and you don't have like null data yesterday, then we're getting the right information on the streak. So I'm gonna quickly go to the chat, see who's here. Looks like one viewer. Can I see who that is? No, I bet I know who that is. All right. Well, thanks for listening, and I will see you on another stream.